But yeah, I guess we might as well get into it. So, as you all know, I went outside and it was very, it was warm. It was very shocking. Yeah, fair enough. As you all know, the internet's been out for quite a while for me. But basically, okay. Well, here's what we're gonna do. So, directly addressing the YouTube audience now, because I'm gonna upload this to YouTube once I get a chance to edit it down and chuck it up. So if you're watching, you may have noticed that there's been no video uploads for 2 months. I haven't streamed for 2 months. If anyone's here and doesn't know why that is, well, this segment is for you. I think everyone in chat basically knows. I've been talking in the Discord about it, but everyone on YouTube's going to be confused as fuck and wondering what's going on. So this is going to be a tale of heroes, villains, incompetent people. There's betrayals in it. There's stories of hijinks and miscommunication as well. Loads and loads of bureaucracy and stuff like that. It's an epic tale for the ages. So get ready. I've just realised chat isn't on screen actually in this mode. One sec. Let me see if I can chuck chat on screen. 'Cause it feels weird to not have chat for the YouTube audience. It's a... Oh god, I'm trying to remember how you're supposed to use this. Browser source is what I'm looking for. Add existing chat. He's done it. Well, welcome to the screen, chat. You can chill over here in this corner. There we go. Lovely. Anyway, so, yeah, let's get into it. Basically, about 2 months ago, I want to say about the 23rd of March is when I, last streamed. That was the last stream I did, right? So basically, after that stream, you get to the next day, I'm chilling, I'm just doing my usual shit, trading, making YouTube stuff, whatever, just vibing, the usual Devin day type things. And then all of a sudden, the internet drops out. Now, if you live anywhere in this block, the internet just drops out randomly occasionally, usually comes back within a short amount of time. So it's not really that major cause of a worry. Chloe also noticed she was watching something on the TV. Suddenly, can't watch anything more on the TV. Don't know what the fuck's going on. It's fine, whatever, just leave it till the morning. Wake up the next morning, still not working. So, of course, first thing I do is, so my internet service provider is BT, and of course, immediately going to contact them because, everyone... So, just for the record, David is working from home and has been since COVID started. Chloe does a PhD. She uses the internet for her work as well. I obviously stream. I've been trading recently, so I am also using the internet. There's three of us that depend on the internet for work, right? So the next day, we call BT and we go through the basic checks, the usual shit, like restart your router. Have you tried unplugging the OpenReach modem? I'm going to have to explain all of this a bit later on as to what company does what and who's in control of what, because it's relevant to the story, but we'll get there when we get there. So basically, we wait in queue for an hour because you'll know what, you'll know what customer service is like these days. It's an absolute hellscape. If you told me that we exist in the seventh circle of hell and it's just dealing with customer service representatives, then I'd agree with you, honestly. I'd say that sounds pretty accurate. It seems like a solid level of punishment. But yeah, we wait for an hour, finally get through to someone. Actually, one little detail is this was on our third call. The first two times we tried to call, I pressed, so you go through to the robot people, and then you press the numbers to get through, and it just doesn't ever let you through. They send you an automated text saying, you've raised an issue, we'll look into that, or after blah blah blah, can you try blah blah blah, and it's the dumbest fucking shit. It's a proper pain in the ass. But we found a loophole around it. There's basically a certain number you can type. You can find it online if you're curious. I think basically every ISP has some sort of workaround, but you can type in a number, it's like *0, I think for us, multiple times instead of typing in any actual response, and then you go through to a person. So we did that, and the first person goes through the basic checks with me. She's like, okay, restart the route, all that bullshit. Couldn't work it out. I go on hold for a fucking hour. At this point, there's no internet, so, we've reverted to, proper caveman mode. I'm in the front room listening to, records on my record player, vinyl. I'm reading a book as well, chilling in my, gown, having a lovely cup of tea, like a true British gentleman. It was a wonderful time for the first, day, that's for sure, but we'll get into that as it goes. But basically, after asking people for about an hour, she couldn't work out what the issue was. She was like, oh man, I think I'm going to have to raise this to somebody else. But you know what? Just before I go, let me try talking with my manager and just seeing if I've missed anything obvious. Seeing if there's some dumb shit that, I really should have covered and managed to miss somehow. So she goes, asks her manager. They come back and she responds and tells me that what their manager realised is that basically there's a key called a NAD key, NAD. Now, this is like a unique identifying key. You can kind of think of this like, you know, how hardware has unique keys to identify them. I forget what the name is. I used to know this. I used to do like tech support. But you've got like, you know, loads of like just random identification numbers for hardware, for, you know, routers, for everything, right? Our NAD key was mismatched according to them. Somehow they managed to work this out. I still don't really understand how. She just sort of came back and was like, oh yeah, my manager said this is the issue. Because they could see our router on the network, it just wasn't getting internet. They could see our router physically, like, they could see our router, it was saying that there's no internet, but you know, they could see the actual machine itself on their end. So clearly there was a through line to our flat and we weren't totally cut off. There's just something amiss. According to them, it was the NAD key. So she's like, let me pass you through to another department that can help you out. Okay, cool, sounds good. It'll probably be like a 40-minute wait or whatever. Like, oh, fucking whatever, right, fine. This is already taken like an hour out of my day, but fuck it. If we're close, we're close. It's fine. Spoiler alert, we were not actually that close at all. So, we sit on the phone for like another hour. I've got my record, I'm just chilling. Someone picks up the phone. Hi, BT, how can I help? I explain the situation to them. I'm like, the NAD key is apparently the issue. They're like, hi, but I think what's happened is they've sent you through to just the wrong department. We don't deal with this shit. We're like billing. We're not tech support. I don't know what they've done, but I'm sorry, we can't help you. All right, cool, fine, whatever. Sure, where do we need to go now? Okay, we'll send you back through to the team that sent you through to me. Okay, cool. I guess we have to wait another 20 minutes to get through the team again, to the initial team, you know? So we go back through to the initial team. Other guy picked up the phone. I explained the issue to him. He's like, okay, so that sounds like a clusterfuck. Here's what I'm going to do. Fuck everything that last person just said. I'm just going to start it fresh on my own. And in my head, I'm like, I've wasted 2 hours on the fucking phone talking to you goddamn people, and apparently none of the information I'm giving you is relevant. You just want to go on your own. But, you know, publicly, on the phone, I wasn't as rude to him. I was like, okay, fine, I understand. You have to do your job. You have to make sure you're thorough, whatever. It's fine. So he goes through all the checks again, and lo and behold, it doesn't start working. He's like, look, I'm going to be honest. We're just going to need to send an engineer out. Great. That sounds fucking fantastic. When can you do it? Book it for next week. Perfect. So, that was pretty much the end of that, and then nothing really happens until the engineer comes. Now, this is where things get a little bit fucky, because on the day the engineer is supposed to arrive, the engineer shows up, and then I get a phone call. Hi, I'm at the wrong address. I can't deal with your shit today, because I had all of my equipment and everything, you know, adjusted for this address I've shown up to, but it's not yours. What? Are you serious? Is that really how this works? You can't just, like, pop over and take a look? Nope. All of my equipment's adjusted to the other address. There's nothing I can do. You're going to have to rebook the engineer trip. Alright. Whatever. Not ideal, but I guess if there's nothing anyone can do about it, fuck it. Whatever. There was no convincing him. I tried for a while and there was just absolutely no convincing him, right? So, they go away. And I need to call BT again. Oh, just to explain, by the way, so, this is actually where it's relevant. So, BT are my internet service provider, but OpenReach are the company that own the lines. So, you know, with like someone like a company like Virgin, they'll come to your house and they'll lay down their own actual physical cables to get internet to your house, right? Whereas with someone like BT, they rent the lines from OpenReach. I think there's something like BT own OpenReach, but OpenReach are like publicly traded or something. It's really weird. But the point is, BT communicate with OpenReach to deal with engineers that get sent out and deal with the physical stuff on our end. So we have like an OpenReach modem on our wall that plugs into our BT modem, or router, sorry. And then the OpenReach one is what is connected to the outside lines, right? So they send out an OpenReach an OpenReach engineer because everything on BT's end seemed fine other than the NAD key, and that's why they had to send an OpenReach engineer, basically. So I call BT again, and they go through all the same checks again. Pretty standard, annoying, usual internet, what's the word? Customer service type shit. Is what it is. Just go through it, get through it as fast as possible. And they organise another engineer for a trip in a week's time. Now, on the phone, I made sure, I was like, look, this is my address. I need you to make sure you have the correct address because the engineer last time came to the wrong address. Please, please, please come to the right address this time. She was like, yep, don't worry, I'm absolutely going to do it. Now, I want to say, this was one of the heroes in the story, because she actually did quite well, right? Not only did she get through the customer service thing real quick, but then she also immediately offered compensation. She was like, look, this is some pretty fucked up shit. Let me give you some credit on your account. So basically, we pay X amount to BT for the internet service, and she was like, I'm going to credit you on your account for 2 months. So we got 2 months worth of free internet. We're 2 weeks deep in the saga, and I'm like, you know what? We've probably got a month of free internet out of this. That's actually all right. You know what? I can live with that. I get it. It happens. This is a weird issue. It's a bit of a bitch to solve. You know what? Thank you. You've actually been a wonderfully helpful person. Cool. Put down the phone. Everything's going well, right? Then the next part that happens, which is just baffling to me, is that on the day the engineer is supposed to arrive, I need to take Chloe to the hospital because she's having some health complications, right? So I drove her to the hospital in the morning. I told my flatmate David, listen out for the door. The engineer could come here anytime they gave us a range of like between 11 a.m. to like 2 p.m. It was a ridiculously big range. It was essentially half a day, right? Half a working day. So it's like keeping her out for the door. He could come at any time. So just be careful, right? And we need to make sure we get this because David's work was starting to get pissed off at him not being able to attend meetings because he doesn't have the bandwidth. Oh, actually, so one thing I will say is, so what BT do is when someone has no internet service, they send out a mini hub which gives you free mobile data. Mobile data across 3 people is absolutely not going to cut it, especially considering half of what I do is like streaming, trading, YouTube, all that kind of. It's just not going to cut it. It's why I couldn't stream, because the service was nowhere near strong enough to actually do anything substantial on it, right? I couldn't even game or anything like that, right? So basically, I'm out at the hospital. I drop Chloe off, come back, and essentially we hear nothing from the engineer until I need to go back and collect Chloe again. So I head on my way. I go, I'm in the car park in the hospital, right? And I get a phone call and it's like, hey, I'm the BT engineer. I've just gone up to your flat and, I've got the wrong address. This is really, like, I don't know what's happened. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Now this time, obviously this happened once before. And I said, make sure to get the fucking address right. I'm like, no offense, but are you fucking kidding me? This is some absolute bullshit. Why is what's going on? Why is the address wrong? And he's like, look, I don't know. I just can't do anything with your address, unfortunately, because all my gear is he gives me the same thing, essentially. He's like, fuck? Hey, welcome back, Tom. How you doing? He is back indeed. You're halfway through the story, but we're on we're 2 weeks in. This is the second engineer trip. So basically, what happens now is the engineer's just like, look, there really is nothing I can do as an open reach engineer, unfortunately. So you're just going to have to like call BT again and just be absolutely like very, oh my God, that's too many bits. Mwah! Love you, Tom. Anyway, that's an insane amount of bits. Thank you. But yeah, basically, so he's just like, look, there's really not much I can do, but you have to call BT and just be very angry at them, okay? And I'm like, all right, fuck it, whatever. I'm at the hospital. I'm trying to deal with this other shit with Chloe, so I'm like, fine, whatever, put it down. So, I drive back with Chloe, and we get back to the flat. We start walking in, I'm just like looking after her. She's a bit crippled at the minute. What she had was a cyst on her side that had to get like cut out. Basically, it's really weird. She had like essentially like a Super Saiyan ingrown hair, just growing on the side of her. It was really weird. So she had to get it cut out, and she's in a lot of pain because they've just cut her open and then stuffed her with a bunch of packing to make sure it stays cleaned. Essentially, it's a massive wound. So I'm helping her in, and we spot outside our flat. There's a van with a dude in it in a high-vis jacket, and I'm like, that's not the engineer, is it? He's been here for like 20 minutes. Why the fuck hasn't he left yet? That's really weird. So I go upstairs and don't think much of it, right? I dropped Chloe off, and then I had to pop back out for some reason, but I can't remember what it was. And when I get back, I go back up to the flat, and Chloe and David are like, yo, we have internet. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's so weird. Why do we have internet? And then they told me that the engineer, for whatever reason, this hero of an engineer, decided to make it his personal mission to just just work out what was going on. And what he found out is that basically our flat and another flat just down the hallway are under the same account, What happened is there was a NAD key mismatch, but both of our accounts were under, basically because the account didn't specify flat number, it only specified the building and address. So when we have internet, their internet gets knocked out. And when they have internet, our internet gets knocked out. I have no idea why this didn't affect us before this point. That was the weirdest bit to me. But that's what he was telling me. He was essentially saying, both of you are under the same account. For whatever reason, they've suddenly started clashing now. So now that we had internet, as he set it up for us, they didn't have internet. And obviously because they have working internet, he can't just knock theirs out to fix ours. So it was like, all right, cool, whatever. What do we need to do? So he calls up people at OpenReach, back at HQ, back at the supervillain layer, trying to work out what the fuck's going on. And he's like, look, there is a NAD key mismatch. The person who said that at the very, very start of this entire chain that every BT engineer so far has ignored, bear in mind, yeah, they were correct. The NAD key is totally mismatched. And then he called HQ and he was like, this is your NAD key, gave us the actual full key, and gave the other flat the full key as well, right? So we're like, okay, cool. What do we need to do now? Just call BT, tell them they need to destroy your account and make a new one with the correct address and the correct NAD key. That's all you need to do. Everything should work from that point. Sick, wonderful. This whole thing will be behind us in about a couple days, hopefully. That sounds great. Thank you so much, sir. You're a blessed boy. Now, feel free to get on with your day. Yeah, I don't know why he stuck around, but he just decided he was going to stick around, and that was fucking cool of him, You just got to appreciate that level of commitment to your job, right? So he dips, and I'm straight on the call, straight on the phone to BT. I get some random engineer, and basically... Oh, shit, no, wait, yeah, there was one other thing. So with the OpenReach engineer that was just round, he installed a new OpenReach box. That was it as well, right? So he put in a new physical box. I can't remember why he needed to do that, but I guess he just did something to do with the NAD key, I guess. I don't even know how he did that, but either way, it's just what he did, right? And it was working, and he's just like, you need to adjust this shit. So we're like, cool, it's working. We've seen it working. It's not working right now because we need to adjust some details on the back end. We can call BT and deal with that. Thank you. So we call BT, and I'm like, hi, this is the situation so far. We need a cease and reservice. Please do it. And this is the NAD key that our new account needs to be on, and this is the address. He's like, cool, I can do that, no problem. I'm on the phone for a fucking hour with this guy. He, every 10 minutes or so, he puts me on hold. He unholds me, and then he's like, hi, I'm still here. We're still working on this. Just give me a sec, all right? Puts it down. Does this about 5 times, right? So an hour and a half later, he finally picks it up. He's like, hi. So, and I'm like, oh God, here we go again. Please, I just want this nightmare to end. What is happening? But obviously, again, I didn't say that. I was just like, yeah, go on, here we go. It's not going to be out for another month, is it? Come on, all right, let's go. Hi, this is one of the most complicated situations I've ever seen. Your shit is fucked. We've taken down the account, and to put in a new one, it's going to basically take a week. At this point, our internet's been out for, I think, it was either 2 or 3 weeks. I want to say closer to 3. So another week is it's still a long wait at this point. Is that really the quickest you can do it? Is there really no other ways? Yep, that's just how long this service takes. I'm very sorry, but you're just going to have to deal with it. I've been talking to a colleague who's much more experienced than me because this shit is really confusing, and I've been working on this cleanly for an hour, and even he, he was much more experienced than I am, and he could just barely understand what's happening here. So, look, that's how long this is going to take. Your account's been destroyed. We're getting in the new order now. We've done it, but it will take 5 days to go through for whatever reason. Fine, whatever. I guess if that's what it is, then that's what it is. I guess we'll just have to deal with that. So then he tells me that basically what we have to do is we have to call. We should expect to call back next week on Tuesday at a certain time. He basically just gives me a time, and he's like, "We'll call you back and just check everything's working." Sounds great. Sounds wonderful. Cool. So I'm just chilling for the next week and a half, still listening at this point to records, but it is getting a bit boring at this point. I kind of just want my internet back and be able to listen to new music. I've read a couple books, but I get pretty bored of reading pretty quick. Tuesday arrives, and no call. That's a bit weird. No missed call, no voicemail, nothing. Just actually nothing. How strange. All right, whatever. I'll call back the next morning, see what's up. Hey, I was expecting a call. This is the story so far. What the fuck's going on? This person, now, straight up, this person actually did seem like they were trying to be very helpful, but they just had no idea how to be helpful. They seemed incredibly incompetent, but because they kept asking a million of the like regular kind of like, oh, have you tried restarting your... I'm like, no, that's not the situation. This you need to like help. You need to just look at my account on your end, look at the notes and work out what the fuck's going on. So he's like, all right, sure, whatever. I guess we can try. So what they tell me is they need to go through a new line procedure, which essentially is a new kind of order on our account. They saw that our account was previously destroyed. And basically they were like, okay, what we need to do is we need to send you out a new router for the new account. We need to start a new service on your account. So like, say you've got your account and your router. The service is like your download speed. It's like the package you pay for essentially, right? So I'm like, all right, fine. How long will that take? It will take another week. Next Monday is when you'll get your router, and then your service will go live Monday by midnight. I actually can't fucking believe this at this point. I'm just like, is that really the fastest you can go? And they're just like, yep, I'm sorry, mate, but that is absolutely. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Thank you. And then this is where it gets interesting, right? This is where the true, like, incompetency and kind of just hilarity comes through, right? So he's got me on the phone. He's like, look, I understand this is a really shit situation. I really am just trying to help. And I'm like, okay, fine, I understand. I'm a bit calmer at this point. And he's like, what we'll do as compensation is we'll upgrade your service completely for free. You're currently getting 300 megabytes down. We'll upgrade you to 500 megabytes down for the exact same price. And I'm like, you know what? That actually does sound like a wonderful bit of compensation. You know what? I can fuck with that. A better service completely for free that should cost me like £20 more a month or something like that. That's actually pretty pogged out. I'm not going to lie. I'm okay with that. So he's like, okay, cool. I just need to take your details, get all this, go through all the like legal paperwork and shit. So we do all of that. That's, I'm glad I could be of help. But just in case you're curious, there are a couple other things I can do for you. And at this point, my ears have perked up a bit. I'm like, oh shit, are they really trying to sweeten the deal even more? So, any of you into sports at your place? No, not really. Bit of an odd question, I'm thinking in my mind. But no, yeah, not really. I mean, some of us watch some esports, but that's about it. He was like, look, I can do you a deal, all right? I'll send you a Skybox. And I'm like, all for free? Like a box that gives us like news channels sports channels for free? That I can fuck with. For £10 a month off what it would normally be. So normally it would be for like $29.99. I'll give you it for $29.99 a month. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This motherfucker's trying to upsell me, trying to get some like, what's the word? Trying to get some commission charges off of a sale to me after, like, I'm very irritated at this point with everything. And I'm just like, none of us watch sport. And he's like, yeah, I can send you a slightly cheaper box. Doesn't that sound fucking awesome? And I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not really interested. And at this point, I've realised he's gone into full salesman mode. So I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going to sit here and listen to this. So I'm just like, look, mate, thanks for everything, but I think I'll call it. He's like, but wait, hang on, there's one other thing. How much do you pay a month for your phone? He doesn't even try just telling me, like, I can offer you a cheap phone package. He's like, how much do you pay? And I'm like, oh, I'm on a family contract if, like, my parents are home and my sister, because it's, like, a lot cheaper, basically, if all of us are on the same contract. So I'm like, there's no way that I am interested in this service. And I explained this to him. I'm like, oh, I don't really know how much I pay. I just know that, my parents pay for the overall package, and it's like a very cheap amount of money. And he's like, oh yeah, but it's not as cheap as what I can offer you of what we got to do. And I'm just like, please shut the fuck up. I don't care. Like, why are you trying to sell me this shit? And he's just like, look, I can sell you a really sick phone package. If anyone in your flat wants it, I'm just like, no, I'm good. Thank you. Bye. Basically put the phone down in his face. Like, not literally that, like, abruptly, but it was just pretty close. So finally, we've gotten rid of the salesman. We've done about maybe, 12 hours on the phone collectively over the whole saga. Had 2 engineers round, but it's sorted. We're going to have the BT router here. There's no reason why this shit shouldn't work. He said the line will be up on Monday. Midnight should work. All checks out. I'm ready. I'm good to go. I'm pogging. So, of course, Monday arrives. The router gets here as expected. We plug it in and we wait till midnight. Shocker. No service. Still got that prick orange light on my router which says that we're connected, but there's no internet. Oh, well, how interesting. The fuck's going on here? Why is this not working? At this point, we're just like destroyed. We're crushed. We're like, oh yeah, of course it's not going to work. Like, why would you expect it to work at this point? There's no way. So yeah, it didn't work. The router was still fucked. So, of course, we have to call again. I call back the next day, and to be clear, just I want to stress this actually, because this is one of the most frustrating fucking things. So, BT are communicating with OpenReach to try and get our issue solved, right? So, when I call one person, I'm not communicating with the same person every time. So there are multiple people from multiple teams and multiple companies dealing with the same problem. And the only thing they have to go on is the notes on the account, which by the sounds of things, the note taken is shit at that company. And none of them had any clue what was happening half the tickets. So every time I'm calling, I have to explain this entire saga every time to every person with the most recent version of it. So when I called the person after the second engineer came round, I had to explain the entire fucking BT Saga lore, you know? I had to pull out the scriptures and, 2,000 years ago in the beginning of time. Like, every single fucking time I have to explain everything from day one as to what's going on. Because otherwise, they just try and go through all of the same regular bullshit again. It takes like 2 hours to go through all the troubleshooting shit and all that kind of stuff, right? So every single time I'm like, look, this is the problem. Don't go through the troubleshooting with me. That's not what the issue is. Restarting the router isn't going to solve this shit, alright? So please just help me out from where we're at. So, basically, so I'm calling back, and normally I get put on hold for like 30 minutes to an hour, right? So every time I've been wasting like 30 minutes on hold or whatever. But anyway, some guy picks up the phone and he's like, hey, how can I help you? I explain the whole lore. He starts digging into the whole account. He starts digging through the notes. And what he found out was that the order for the new service had failed for no particular reason, basically. There's no reason why it should have failed. He's just like, look, they tried to get this through and it just got rejected. It just didn't work. He checks all of the details. He checks the NAD key. He checks the address. He checks, our router, the serial number on our OpenReach box. All checks out. So then he tells me that he needs to escalate this to OpenReach, right? He needs to call OpenReach, be like, we need your most shit-hot engineers on the job to work out what the fuck's going on, and he'll call me back in a week's time again. Are you serious? Like, what? How long does it take to escalate a ticket? I'm going crazy. What is happening at this point? I haven't had internet for so long. I'm seeing fucking, I'm tripping balls constantly. I'm seeing, like, elves crawl across the ceiling. I'm just seeing, I'm seeing, like, CSGO crosshairs in my vision, like, from just missing it so much. It's actually absurd. A week later is when you're going to call me back, because that's apparently the fastest OpenReach can go. All right, fine. Whatever. Now, to this guy's credit, a week later, I actually did get a call back. But when I answer, for whatever reason, I can't hear them. Like, for whatever reason, like, I can't hear shit down the phone. I'm like, hi, can you hear me? Hello? Nothing. So the call just gets dropped, right? I wait for an hour. I waited for an hour and before I called back, right? Because I was like, there's no way I'm letting this shit go. I have to call back, like, now. I'm not waiting for this shit. This is some bullshit. So I call back, and of course, this time when I call back, it's just some random shitter, some random engineer, right? Which, makes sense, but it doesn't particularly help the situation. So, of course, bust out the scriptures again. We're explaining the whole lore to this new person. Now, I basically tell them everything up to now, and I'm like, I was expecting a call back. This is everything that's happened so far. Can you help me? I received the call, but I couldn't hear the person. Like, what can you do for me? And they told me they can't pass me through to the correct person. And I wanted to talk to that person because that's who's been dealing with it for the whole time, right? So it's like, I want this person to say, no, what the fuck's up? I don't have to explain a ton of shit to you. And he's like, look, unfortunately, there's no way I can do that. But what I'll do is I'll let them know that you missed the call and for them to call you back, all right? I'll let them know, all right? I'll send them an email and I'll explain that you just couldn't hear them for whatever reason and we're sorry about that. They'll call back, all right? Sure, sounds fine. The next 4 hours go by. No call. So I call back again. This is the third time on the same day. Well, actually, second time I had to call, I guess, to be fair. Now, this guy, in total fairness, that I call up, was actually sick. This is the true champion. This is the BT internet Jesus coming through in the clutch, and is the guy that ultimately actually put us on the path to getting our internet fixed. But at this time in the story, I've been through 3 engineers. I've been through countless help desk guys, and I'm just so frustrated. I'm like, dude, I'm very blunt at this point, right? There is no veneer of politeness in me whatsoever. I'm just like, look, BT's fucking up hard. We haven't had internet for a month. I was supposed to get called back today. I didn't. Well, I got a call back and then I couldn't hear anyone. They didn't call back after that, so I've called you guys again. They've told me that this person will call back. They've sent them through an email. No callback. What the fuck is going on? Now, this guy was like, genuinely sounded just very distressed and like a little bit like, oh fuck, what have I landed myself into? But he maintained his professionalism and he pretty much went like, look, I'm very sorry to hear that. That's a terrible situation. This should never have happened. This is some bullshit. I agree with you. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm going to put you on hold. And I know that's the last thing you want to hear right now, but I'm going to make sure I take you off hold and every like 5 minutes or so and just let you know I'm still here. I'm going to work out what the fuck's going on, make it my personal mission to sort this. Fine. All right, cool. I'm glad. So he tells me he'll have a look at it. He works out what the fuck's going on. He listens to my story and actually takes it in. He's like, okay, so I'm looking out for some cancelled orders. He understands what's up so far, right? So he tries to put an order through. And it... wait, hang on, is this... Yeah, so he tries to put an order through, and he said that basically he'll call me back the next day at 11. And he's like, just to let you know, the order has failed 8 times. For whatever reason, this order on your account, no one informed me of this, but the order on your account is just failing time and time again. No one knows why. But I'm going to put an order through for you, and I'm actually going to call you back tomorrow. And if you don't... And I told him, like, look, if I can't hear you, you have to come back. And he's like, I will, I promise, all right? So I'm like, okay, fine. I trust this guy. He actually seems pretty cool. I put the phone down. Don't sweat it. Next day rolls around. I get a call back at midday. This time, it was a different guy. Where's my cool guy who just called me? Why the fuck is this random prick calling me? Alright, whatever. Hi. Yeah, we're calling you back because there's a note on your account that says, you know, the ticket's been passed through to me and we need to call you back. See, what's going on? Are you fucking kidding me? I have to explain it again. So I explain it all again. Is that he tries to put an order through. Shocker, it fails. And he promises to look into it, basically, and call me back later in the day. Because he also seemed fairly competent and was slightly frustrated on my behalf. 2 minutes later, after I put the phone down, after I was on the phone to him for about half an hour, I get another call. Hi, who's this? Hi, it's the guy from the previous day who was really awesome. And I'm telling you that order I put through yesterday is going through from us. And it's failing on OpenReach's end. So that means there's a mismatch between the BT and OpenReach records. Alright, that's fucking cool. Why did I get a call from some random dickhead 2 minutes ago trying to solve the issue saying the ticket was thrown on his lap? He was like, oh, that's really weird. I don't know why that would have happened. I don't know. That maybe it's our ticketing system fucking up. And I'm just like, that was really strange. He's like, yeah, that is really strange. But it's fine. I'm here. I can deal with it. So he basically explains the situation. Like I said, he said that there's a mismatch between BT's records and OpenReach's records. BT have to correct everything, as we went through before. OpenReach is fucking up somehow. We don't know why it's failing on their end, but we're going to try and work it out. And what he did, now, Papa bless to this guy. This guy truly was the poggest boy. He says, my manager is very technical. Let me ask her, because she will know what the fuck is going on, alright? She'll call you and let you know what she can investigate and what she can look into. So I'm like, alright, cool, that sounds wonderful. Thank you very much for all the help. Put the phone down. About 10 minutes later, she calls me and she's like, hi. So, here's the fucking deal. OpenReach have the wrong address. They have a flat in the floor above. Do you want to know the funniest fucking thing? The biggest meatball meme of this whole story. The previous address that we were clashing with is different to this new wrong address they have. So before, they had, the flat down the hallway from us. This time, on OpenReach's end, they've got the address for the flat above us. 3 flats are in this saga, and no one even knows how they're connected. They're not. We're just all on BT, I guess, and apparently they all had random fucking, addresses. It's almost like they're choosing flat number by throwing darts at a dartboard or something. It's just absurd. Like, I actually don't understand how... Yeah, it's fucking mad. It's absolute madness at this point. So I'm like, sure, alright, whatever. Sounds fine. But then what she goes on to say is that OpenReach needs to sort this on their end, basically. And she is personally going to take it on her. She's going to, like, make sure she really grasps this entire thing and just makes it her personal mission to sort it. She's going to be my sole point of communication from this point onwards, and she's going to communicate with BT and work out what the fuck's going on, try and get everything sorted, right? So no longer do we have to call any help desk people. No longer do we have to deal with random people picking up the ticket and calling us just out of line. Just this one point of contact. Sounds good to me. Let's fucking go. Let's sort this thing. All right. So she tells me that basically she's going to update OpenReach on the situation, give them the correct address, and apparently this will take another week to do. Apparently, to update a single address to go through, from what I understand, it's because they have to go through a ton of OpenReach bureaucracy. Like, they have to pass it through to different teams and blah, 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 blah. And it's just, there's a ton of different people it has to go through. So, to actually get this done will take a minimum 5 days. So I'm like, fuck. All right, fine. If that's what it's going to take, it's what it's going to take. What can I do? So I leave it, and I'm not really sweating it too much. But then David next door is getting a lot of shit from work, right? Because he's, for like a month and a half at this point, basically, he's not been able to attend meetings. His internet connection just is, like, it's affecting his work, basically. It's very difficult for him to work on the mobile data because it's just not fast enough connection. He does a lot of kind of like virtual desktop and remote work. So when stuff drops out, if he's coding and he's like midway through through like a bit of code and he loses his train of thought because it disconnects and he has to get back in, he has no idea where he was. He has to start the whole train of thought again. Tom in chat will know how frustrating that is, right? I know it as well. When you get distracted from code and you're in midway through a thought, it's fucked. You have to start all over again. You have to reread all of the methods and work out where you were. It's a pain in the ass, right? So I totally get why he's frustrated. And what he comes and tells me is like, look, Devin, here's what I think we can do. We should call BT and we should ask to upgrade to a business package, because my dad said that basically the business package should, in theory, have much better support. So if we can upgrade to business, and we can basically transfer this ticket to their support, that would be potentially one way to deal with this. We can try that. We can call them and try it. And I'm like, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. So we call both of us in David's room. We have the phone on the thing on loudspeaker. We call BT. Of course, we're on hold for like a fucking hour, as is standard at this point, right? We finally get through to someone, and we're like, hi, this is the issue. Please, can we upgrade to a business package? And basically, would it help this situation? If we upgrade to a business package, will we get better support? That's all we want to know, right? This motherfucker, this absolute clown, starts trying to resolve the issue on his own. After I've explained to him that he doesn't need to touch it because we have one person who's already taken it on themselves to work out what the fuck's going on. We have one point of contact, one motherfucker working on this issue. And he's like, no, let me try and work out what's going on. I get what you're asking and I'll get back to you, but I need to put you on hold. I need to work out what's going on. Just fucking destroy my brain. Fire me into the sun. I don't care. I want to jump off this balcony at this point. Like, I don't even want the internet at this point. This is just like, I'm getting through this by pure spite, you know? This shit's getting absurd. So he's like, no, I'm going to try and solve this. So we get put on hold for like another hour while he tries to complete this absolutely monstrous mission that we knew was just going to fail. He finally takes us off hold. He's like, hi, it turns out that your issue is quite complicated. And I tried putting an order through and it failed for some reason. And I'm like, I explained to you. It's failed 50,000 times, and we know it's because there's an address mismatch. We explained this all to you. Can you please just tell us if the business package will help? And he was like, finally, after 2 hours of being on the phone while David's working, this interrupted his day, while I'm trying to do other shit, he's finally like, oh yeah, so by the way, upgrading to a business package won't actually help. You still have to go through OpenReach in the same way. Plus, if in this particular case, we'd have to destroy your account and create a new one, so it would erase all the progress so far. 5 minutes, he wrapped up all the information we needed to know. The call took essentially 2 hours. What? What is this life I'm in? What is going? Is this some cruel joke? Am I in the fucking Truman Show? What is going on? It's blowing my mind. The sheer level of incompetency from multiple people. It's just absolutely insane. But anyway, whatever. Don't sweat it. This won't help. The business package won't help. If we want to transfer a business, we can do it after the internet's actually fixed. We understand that now. Whatever. So, a couple of days later, we get called back by the manager explaining that we need to send the serial number on our OpenReach modem again. Now, just for context, you know how I said every single time I've called for like the first 5 people or so, I had to go through the troubleshooting process every time. Every single time I had to send the serial address to them, so they knew the serial number. It was on the account, and for the person. I'm not going to say the name because I just realised I probably shouldn't give out anyone's names. Nearly did though. But basically, even this manager has already asked me for the serial number. So I'm like, why do you need the serial number again? It's like, look, just do it. I just need the serial number. All right, fuck it, whatever. Here's the serial number. So, you know, whatever. It is what it is. I'm just going to not sweat it. I've sent the serial number to her. Hopefully they get it sorted. So, this happens maybe 2 or 3 times. She'll call me back periodically, once a week, and basically ask a bunch of menial questions. And it just confirming details, the usual shit. And I'm just like, how the fuck is... Like, you're supposed to be the competent one who understands the technical details. My assumption is just she was, you know, in the background making sure everything was 100%. But it's like, why are you waiting so long to do this all? It was just so bizarre. By the way, we spent about 2 weeks doing that. And then finally... she realises what's up. She realises the serial number, our OpenReach, is different to the serial number that we have written on our modem. Are you ready for the fucking twist ending? Are you ready for the fucking M. Night Shyamalan backstab moment? It turns out that BT was a ghost all along. Are you ready? It's going to happen. So, it turns out that the serial number on the front of our box was the one for our old serial number, was the one for our old BT modem, right, or OpenReach modem, sorry. And that engineer, the hero engineer from chapter 2 of this story, when he replaced the modem in our thing, he didn't get rid of the old serial number on the plastic casing for it. So we had a bit of new OpenReach hardware, essentially, inside of our plastic casing with a serial number on it that was different to the casing and the one outside. Oh, we've just cracked the case, boys. It wasn't working because there was the OpenReach engineer that got sent around just didn't tell us that we had a new OpenReach serial number now. Apparently that wasn't an important detail to him. Cool. Alright. Is it working? It's working. We got a blue light. It looks wonderful. The internet's back. So, as you've gone through, I'm speaking to the manager. There's the manager on the phone. So, as you've gone through quite the saga, we apologise deeply. What I've done is I've credited £50 to your account. Sorry, what? I've accredited £50 to your account because you've gone through a lot, and you know, I really do feel sorry for you. Thank you, I guess? Now, in my head, I'm thinking, what in the actual fuck? That's not even a slap in the face. You're basically pissing in my face and telling me it's, you know, fucking the fountain of youth. That's not even 1 month, like, compensation. We pay £60 a month in compensation. Sorry, we pay £60 a month for our service, and this is £50. We're £10 short of a month. This is like, what, 25 days worth? Are you fucking kidding me? Alright, whatever. I just kind of want to check the internet works and there's no issues, so I'm not going to argue with you right now. But one thing someone did say is that they'd upgrade us for free, and they'd give us like a better, you know, internet package, essentially, before the orders failed. They said that they'd upgrade us to 500 megabytes for free. Oh, I don't have any record of that. I'm really sorry. If you want to get that done, you're going to have to talk to somebody else, maybe in the billing team, or just call back and explain, you know. Now, all of you in chat, everyone on YouTube watching this, all of you in chat right now are thinking, Devin, why didn't you argue with her? What? Don't you want the better internet? Don't you want a bit better compensation? I do. But to put this into context, this was 2 months of God knows how many calls, so much just pure energy gone into why the fuck this isn't working. A ton of stress as to like when I'll be able to stream again next, David's work, just a whole mess of different fucking moving parts that's fucking destroying everything. I have like a bunch of mobile data, but I have to like ration my mobile data like a savage. And at this point, I was so ground down and just defeated that I didn't have the energy to argue with her. I was just like, I'm just not going to do it. There's no fucking way I can be fucked to stay on the phone for another half an hour or even 10 minutes now that the internet's working. There's just no way that's happening. So I was like, thank you for everything. Bye. And that was the end of it. Now, you'd think, I was like, man, I'm really excited to have the... nope, I was on the settee looking like I was about to shoot myself. It didn't even register that the internet was back. Like, because it turned out it had been back for like a day or something, right? Because the service went live like however long ago, and we were only just getting called about it. So... yeah, like, it was like a wet fart at the end of this entire story. It really was like an anticlimactic moment. I didn't feel a single thing. I was just like, I don't care that the internet's back. Why would I give a fuck? I've basically acclimatized to this caveman situation I've existed in. I'm used to the stress levels being up here now. So like, why do I fucking care about the internet being bad? This isn't even like this is like nothing. Like the compensation was such a slap in the face. So it just deflated everything in me. Like there was no enthusiasm after this point. If she was like, yeah, we're going to give you dope compensation. Here's your new internet package. It's all dealt with. Like, then I'd have been like, you know what, that's pretty sick. But the fact that in my head, I'm like, okay, so this still isn't over. We have internet, but this still isn't over. I have to fight for more compensation if I want it. And I have to fight for the upgrade because now there's no document of it in writing. I just assumed that it would get done. So we're just fucked. We have to fight for those two things now if we want them. And at that point, I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm done. There's zero chance of me doing that. So, like, whatever. The internet's back. I'm chilling, I guess. Yeah, that's been my life for the last 2 months. Whew, so that's the whole story. Yeah, I hope that was entertaining in some way. That took like 50 minutes to explain. And that was very much the Cliff Notes version of it. There were other things that I left out just for brevity's sake, and because it was, a lot of repetitive shit, a lot of just calling and working out what's going on, getting passed around different apartments, a lot of like, the BT engineer the OpenReach engineer calls me and explains the situation. I'm like, I know, like all of that stuff was cut out. So this was the Cliff Notes version, and it took 50 minutes to explain. This was just a fucking nightmare of a situation, but this is what I've been dealing with, so I do apologise for lack of streams. But in conclusion, fuck BT, all my homies hate BT. Cheers for watching, it's been fun. Shall we play some fucking community games, boys? Yeah?